Dricus du Plessis comments on his fight with Israel Adesanya after successfully defending his belt and talks about future. In a fashion usual to his fighting style, Dricus grinded through some difficult moments in the mostly closely contested fight with Israel before securing a victory by submission. After the fight was over, the rivals seemingly ended their beef, embracing each other backstage. After this, both fighters proceeded to attend their post-fight press conference where they reacted to the outcome, assessed their performances, and discussed future possibilities. We'll start with Dricus. The South African shared thoughts on the fight and reacted to what might come next. Quote, "I said that I'm going to look for the opportunity or create the opportunity to get that finish. If not, I'm winning this fight by a decision. But when I get in there, it comes from the fact that I don't know any other way to fight. I don't know how to fight to defend the belt. And that comes back to the story of every time I fought before becoming world champion, I have to go out there and win the belt. And that's what I go out there to do now as well. I don't grapple to win a round on points. I go for a submission. I don't do pad work every day to outpoint someone. I hit the pads to knock you out. So every time I'm busy with anything, I'm trying to finish that fight. I'm trying to do it with the intent of hurting or getting you out of there. That's what fighting's all about. So the confidence comes from the fact that I know I'm willing to die out there. I know it sounds like I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but it's true. I know that I'm willing to go for it. And every time I go out there, I pull the trigger. My whole career has been like that. That's why I'm pretty sure that I'm going to win or die trying." In regards to his next title defense in Alex Pereira or Sean Strickland, Dricus said the following, quote, "Pereira, if Izzy put you out and stiffened you like that, you do not want to be in there with me, especially when you're going to come in there with excuses like, oh, I cut too much weight. Stay at 205 and fight the number 7 ranked guy. If Strickland's the next fight, people want to see that fight. And if people say that he's the next best fight, I want that fight. And then I can go up to light heavyweight," end quote. Adesanya shares thoughts following his defeat against du Plessis, grades his performance overall, and comments on what might come next. Stylebender gave his detailed assessment of the finishing sequence, talked about the heated rivalry between him and the middleweight champion coming to an end, at least for now, and more. He took his gloves off in the octagon. Immediately after the bout, many fans briefly felt bits of panic, as we all know what that gesture symbolizes most of the time when done inside the octagon. Izzy wasn't thinking about retirement though, as he later stated, the gloves just were too tight. He made his intention of staying in the sport and competing at the highest level clear immediately after the fight, on the mic inside the octagon. On the post-fight presser, he had more time to comment on everything. Quote, "For me, I have to watch it again. I don't think I was rocked. I think I slipped and was like, what the hell was that? And then he was trying to catch me as I was exiting, and I don't remember how he took me down because everything in there is always a blur, and it's all still fresh. But yeah, I tried to fight the top hand, and I don't know what mistake I made, but I tried to turn into him. But then he got on my back, and he switched to a gable grip, and I wasn't able to separate the hands like I wanted to. I have to watch it properly to see what happened. But I felt great. He didn't really surprise me. I knew he was tough. I felt strong, and I felt like I was winning the fight. I hurt him a few times to the body, and I felt like my shot was coming because he kept on reacting. But again, tough dude, strong spirit. I'm proud of the way I carried myself through this camp. It sucks to lose, but at the same time, I'm happy for me and my team. Just not my night tonight. The better man won tonight. I knew he was a fan of me, but now I'm a fan of his because we've been in there and done it. Congrats to him tonight, till we meet again." When asked about his plans for future and how he wants to pursue his career after this point, Izzy said the following, quote, "The last one was something that I wasn't happy with. This one, I was happy with the way I performed, but not happy with the result. But I wasn't holding on to the result. I thought about displaying the work that we've done in the gym, and I felt like I did that. So yeah, you'll see me again when you see me again. I want to keep better in my grappling and even my striking," end quote. Joe Rogan wasn't among the portion of the fans who were pleased by the outcome of UFC 305 after Dricus du Plessis submitted Israel Adesanya in round 4 of their championship contest. The heated rivalry between the two fighters culminated in a closely contested fight right before the finish that was entertaining its whole duration. In the 4th round, du Plessis found the finish by submission and sent shockwaves throughout the MMA community on every platform. It's safe to say half or more of the partisan fans were upset at the result, as they were awaiting for Stylebender to reclaim the belt. Among those is one of the most notable figures in the MMA space, Joe Rogan himself. Joe's fandom of Adesanya hasn't been a secret for a while now, and fans have many times accused him of being biased toward the Kiwi fighter while commentating on his bouts. But during UFC 305, which took place in Perth, Australia, Joe was sitting in his studio live streaming a podcast named Fight Companion with some of his friends. This has been normal practice for big UFC cards that take place outside of the United States, as Joe has repeatedly stated that he's no longer willing to travel outside the states in order to commentate on fights. So, when there are such cases, he gets replaced by another commentator and watches fights from his home base, often streaming at the same time. His reactions during the du Plessis versus Adesanya fight, paired with comments made by his guests toward du Plessis, while Joe laughed, enraged many fans who weren't shy to express the criticism toward Rogan in the comment sections of anything related to the stream, especially on YouTube. The sentiment during the fight from the panel with Rogan and his friends was that Izzy was easily winning the fight, and the result was pretty much his comfortable victory. About 2 minutes before the finish, his guest made some, as many fans interpreted it as, some racial insults toward Dricus, something that involved mayonnaise and a parody of a South African accent. Soon after, du Plessis submitted Adesanya, much to the whole panel's shock and disbelief. Joe Rogan's immediate reaction, who was visibly upset at the result, was the following quote, "Oh no, oh my god, oh my god." After this, he complimented Dricus and briefly switched to unbiased commentary. Before the conversation moved on to something completely unrelated, Chael Sonnen shares thoughts on Michael Chandler's position in the UFC after Dana White revealed that McGregor won't fight this year. The long-awaited fight between Conor and Chandler got delayed indefinitely after McGregor's foot injury, something that Chael doesn't believe actually happened, as he's expressed many times before. Anyway, Michael Chandler, though, seems to keep his optimism alive for this and have an unwavering position of, "I'm still fighting McGregor," when asked about any possible alternative for his next fight. Chael Sonnen comments on this, saying the following, quote, "The fight that Chandler has now, his battle is to get Conor into the ring. It's unlike any fight that we've ever seen, but it's a fight nonetheless. And if you lose your focus, you'll lose the fight. If you get distracted, you will lose the fight. If you fall for the mental manipulation of your opponent, you'll lose the fight. Chandler, unlike other guys, will have a plan and a strategy. But like other guys, will have a camera in his face at times that he's not ready. Chandler just did an interview, and even a broken clock is right twice a day. You can accidentally do something brilliant. And I'm wondering which one of the two it is. It's the first time he starts to move off the mount from Conor McGregor in 2 years. And the way he did it was talk about other opponents. He talked about how great they would be for his legacy and how much you guys would enjoy them, which is a heel move to begin with. And then he said one of the worst ideas I've ever heard and you could possibly imagine. And that's why I'm wondering if it was on accident or strategic. He talked about rematches, mentioning Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira. Oh, really? You're going to offer rematches for non-title fights? Awesome contests that already happened. We're going to do rematches that don't need to be done? The opposite of promotion, that is. Terrible idea. End quote. Thank you for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time.